Grand Rising, Mi5, my people, my family, my tribe. I hope everyone is having a very happy Thursday today. And oh my goodness, you guys, if you could just see behind the scenes in the last 5 minutes, I actually just had a real time Zumba workout with the core members of Mi5. I'm kind of sweating right now. It was actually really amazing. And what a better way to start the show than to get a nice workout in before going live here. I'm like out of breath and everything. It's real, it's authentic. We're getting it ready here. So, today we have the mindset mastery, the MI5 mind mastery. And on these calls, we kind of emphasize the importance of mindset within the MI5 system, and simply because it's an integral part of being a successful person. It's crazy. When I was first starting to try to make a lot of money in my life, try to use untraditional methods of wealth creation for my own life, I was very surprised to find out that actually the main ingredient in the entire scope of the recipe is actually self-development. And of course, there's like so many different parts to self-development, right? And there's also so many different parts to mindset. Mindset is one of those things. And it's just the reason why the reason why it's such an integral part and such a key piece to the puzzle is because without having you basically getting rich is not a level of money in the bank, right? It's actually a level of character. It has nothing to do really with your net worth. However, you can't be a millionaire unless you have 7 figures in the bank, right? But you're also not going to stay a millionaire if you don't match the energy of one. And that is such a key factor behind wealth creation, obtaining and maintaining. So before we really get into it, and before I truly explain what MI5 is, I want to paint a picture for you, okay? And close your eyes. You can close your eyes if you want. You don't have to, but it's much easier to kind of visualize when you have your eyes closed. I want you to imagine a life where now all of a sudden you're making $50,000 a month. You are making $50,000 a month. What would you do with $50,000 a month? How drastically would your life change? For most people, they would probably, they're like, oh my God, I can finally make that trip to Italy that I've always wanted to do, or, they'll go to the beaches of the Maldives. They'll be sitting there with their martini, the little lemon in the cup, they're just straight chilling on the shores, got their feet in the sand. They're enjoying the cool coastal breeze. And life is good. You got not a care in the world, and you're 1,000 miles away from any responsibility in your life. Some people would use that money to create more time to spend with their family. For a lot of people, their passion in life is their family. A lot of people value spending time with their children so that they can actually be there for them to develop their kids, because really the kids are the future of everything in this world, right? Some people might, do it to become well versed in different languages. They would use that time to learn. They would use that time to, dude, I can finally read all these freaking books that I've been meaning to read, even though it's kind of not an excuse. You can have a job and read lots of books. I'm a living example of that through all of my jobs. Just over broke. I was always reading. I always had read like at least 15 books in a year while I was working. It's really, but to stay on track, you can, of course, making $50,000 a month would give you that time freedom, right? Making a amount of money that large is yes, you can open your eyes now, by the way. Making an amount of money that large is such a life-changing thing. And that's really the main goal of Mi5, right? Mi5, the gift that it brings is true freedom. Now, what does Mi5 stand for? It stands for Millionaire in 5 Years. And it's based off the principle that if you took $500, which most people can scrape up, and compounded that at 13.6% a month over the span of 5 years, you would have $1.3 million. Boom, MI5, you did it. Congratulations, you're a millionaire now. And, when we came up with this, we were like, oh my gosh, like being a millionaire is just simple math. That's so crazy, right? And to an extent, yes, but we also knew that if we were able to grant people this amazing lifestyle of being a millionaire, whether that's your dream or not, making more money than you do now, making a substantially increased monthly income, it comes with a cost, and that cost is developing yourself to be able to handle that kind of lifestyle. Because a lot of people, you hear about the lottery winner who hits it big, $10 million cash injection into their life. Now they're, everyone is asking them for money, and they're like, sure, here's the money, and they buy the $10 million mansion with the infinity pool and like the private chef, everything. They've got a giant walk-in closet filled with all the shoes they've ever wanted. And then 3 years down the line, they're completely broke and they're like $5 million in debt all of a sudden. Whoa, how did it happen? Well, a lot of people don't use the secrets of the wealthy, which are to invest that money to create multiple streams of income to be able to create or to be able to sustain that wealth. It's really not about the lifestyle. There's a lot of millionaires that literally, like Adam Sandler, you guys seen him on social media. He's wearing like gym shorts and freaking like hoodie, like, and he's still balling out like crazy. So it's really, but I'm sure he has the investor mindset that's super, super key, right? Now, MI5 started with a group of people that had a vision for everything that I just explained. We came across a lot of scams in the industry. We came across a lot of things that didn't make us feel good about pursuing this job-free entrepreneur lifestyle, because it's like, living in the age of the internet, you're just surrounded by people that are like, hey, buy my course. I'm a guru. You're going to be a millionaire yesterday if you follow my community and whatever, like all that, And so through having a vision, we created a mission. And the mission statement of MI5, there we go, is this. MI5 aims to help others create a map to self-mastery through mindset, utilizing model and multiple streams of income to manifest one's ideal life. The mission of the organization is to help individuals achieve wealth so that they can live a life that they love. We believe that through doing this, we will help people unlock their inner potential so that they can make a positive impact on humanity. We are a platform to educate and provide people with passive income that will lead to financial independence and freedom of time. MI5 means millionaire in 5 years. We provide a roadmap to create, grow, and sustain wealth. Oh, there we go. Amazing. So yes, I mean, as you just heard from my voice right there, MI5 is a platform to grow, create, and sustain generational wealth. Now, the reason for really doing this is very simple. Like our impact on the world can only be as big as the amount of people that we are able to touch their lives, right? So that being said, how do you do that, right? How do you change the world? One person at a time. Well, that's kind of the shift that we're making in 2023 by being on these lives and creating social media content, is that we can touch more lives at once with killing multiple birds with one stone, so to speak. So, really the goal is to help as many people as possible create and sustain wealth that will be able to allow them to set them free and have that time freedom that everyone, longs for in this life, so that they can take their passion, whatever that may be, and run with it to benefit the world. Because MI5, we might change your life, and then you might have all this time and start to realize, oh my God, my passion is all of a sudden turning into a purpose. How does a passion turn into a purpose? When you figure out a way for that passion to help people. Passion and service is purpose. And when we're able to unlock that within people's lives, it becomes such a more impactful thing. So, it's awesome because now we have so many. The way that we ended up figuring out how to do 13.6% a month was through networking, right? And through networking, we were able to find so many people with amazing visions, missions, right? And so many people that actually do provide so much value to this world and shine a very, very bright light on the earth, right? And I think that by combining everyone's powers, we're going to be able to unlock a lot of people's inner potential. A lot of people, they will have a point in their life where they do end up finding what their passion is. And they're like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like I have a purpose all of a sudden. And that spark creates a tiny little flame, right? That spark creates a tiny flame. And then, some people, they add kindling to the fire. They start to bring other people in. They start to actually like brainstorm that every day, and they make it their chief aim. And then they start to actually put that into the physical world and take action. They figure out, what do I want? Why don't I have it? They feel the pain of not having their desire, and they take action to do it every single day. Some people, though, they figure out their passion, and it's amazing. And they're like, oh my God, this is awesome. And then they start to think about how they could make it happen. They're like, oh my God, that's really hard. That's like way harder than I thought it was going to be. And they forget about it for long enough. They don't take action soon enough. And just like that, their dream disappears. And they end up doing the same thing over and over and over again every single day for the rest of their life. And then they are in their deathbed. Sorry to take it down this path, but they're in their deathbed and they wonder, what was it all for? What if I did just take that chance, right? And so through providing people education and providing people, a sense of community of people that are also chasing their dreams, we can make it happen for just one more person, right? So that is the dream and the vision of Mi5 and our mission, right? To create time freedom for as many individuals as possible through educational, financial literacy, educational material on mindset and routine and self-development, and actually, pathways to, passive income streams, right? Now, how do we actually plan on doing that? Well, to give someone true time freedom and to be able to actually start unlocking their passion, you have to do exactly that first. You have to give them the time freedom. And so you have to allow them to find a way to maximize the time that they have, when they're not trading their hours for dollars. And so one of the initiatives of Mi5 is to be able to collaborate with other entrepreneurs who have businesses that allow people to work remotely, to be able to actually integrate themselves into our community so that they can have jobs, they can create jobs for people that are honestly tired of going somewhere and working. Now they can learn a skill that allows them to work from home and give people that time freedom so that they can have time to start to work on themselves, preparing them for the journey ahead of hitting that 7-figure net worth mark. Now, the bigger scope of this is through collaboration. Like I said, the way that Mi5 really came to be was through epic networking. Like epic networking. This is the kind of calls where you get on with people and you ask them, what is your autobiography? What's your 10-minute autobiography? Most of the time when you meet someone, that's like not the thing that you want to tell. Like, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you I'm going to talk about myself for 10 minutes and you're going to know exactly everything about me and, where I came from, how I did it, and my life story, essentially. Well, the reason why that's so key is because what happens if you don't tell anybody your story? Well, nobody's going to know how to help you. That's one thing, right? If you don't ever tell anybody your story, I don't know how I can help you. And I also don't know what kind of value you bring to the world, because of, I don't know, the experiences that you've had that make you such a wise person. I could just not literally look at you. I have no idea. You know, I can feel certain energy from you, but that's just about it. Unless you tell me, I'm never going to have any idea. Same thing with me. You know, I love being able to tell people my story, because I know that my story impacts lives, right? You know, for people who haven't heard my story, I went from like very, very religious to drug addict to now a job-free entrepreneur to soon multimillionaire. And that story has a lot of different holes that I dug myself out of, and a lot of different things that allowed me to become the person that I am now, and in turn to, you know, inspire people with that story. And then based off of the profession that I have, I'm able to actually give them resources to take on their purpose once they find it, right? And so what we want to do with Mi5 is have a website and an app, right? Mostly the app, where we can have a section of trusted allies, where we can integrate all these amazing entrepreneurs and these people with awesome passions into the system, where they can now offer their blessings to the entire community of Mi5, anybody who's in it. And it's going to be basically a one-stop shop for find a new job, if you so choose, passive income streams, education, mindset material, everything that is going to allow you to develop yourself fully to the point of being able to live a healthier and wealthier life, and also the money creation aspect too. Because, like, you know, that's cool and all if you are able to develop yourself to a point of health, mindset, and purpose, but you need money, right? We all need money to eat and survive and take care of our kids and all that. And so it's such a crucial piece. Now, along the way of Mi5, we had a challenge, right? We had a lot of opportunities where they were all, you know, they all had potential to be six-figure income streams or more just from one thing. But the thing about these opportunities is that they came from very wealthy families, very wealthy communities. And when you have very lucrative opportunities like that, they're not cheap, right? They're usually for the elite class. They're usually for the higher up members of society. And they don't just allow people to get in for like $500 like we had visioned. You know, we're like, oh, $500, 13.6%, you're a millionaire, boom. Well, it's not that simple, because some of the things that allow you to do it even faster than 5 years, they cost, you know, 10,000, 30,000, 50,000, 100,000 and more, right? And so we had an issue. We were like, you know, this is great and all that we have these amazing opportunities that are creating over 20% a month in some cases, but, you know, $30,000 entry fee, $30,000 minimum investment, that's not going to be able to help regular people. Regular people don't just have that kind of money sitting around, no matter if it's going to make them rich or not. You know, they can't just like, oh yeah, so I do have $30,000. However, it's my life savings, and if I spend it right now, I won't be eating for the next 2 weeks. So probably not going to do it, right? Well, that is when the light bulb about credit went off in our head. You see, we were like, okay, instead of $500, why don't we take $50,000 and be able to skip the first 3 years of Mi5 and give someone this massive cash injection to allow them to participate in opportunities that will be able to set them free. Or if they want to just start that business that they've always wanted to, you know, giving people the liquidity to be able to leverage that into new opportunities in life, to be able to open new doors. Because honestly, that is what money does. Money is power. And when you're able to give it to people, you're sharing that power, and that power opens large doors in life, especially large amounts of money. Duh. Like, so it's amazing. So, I mean, what I'm leading up to here is we, as entrepreneurs and as masculine leaders, we saw a problem and we wanted to create a solution. So that is when we purchased our brokerage company, Grand Rising Financial. Now, Grand Rising Financial is a company that is created by the core leaders of Mi5. And without Mi5, Grand Rising Financial quite frankly, wouldn't be a thing. We probably wouldn't have come to the conclusion that we need this company in order to do it. One of the things that I always learned from business mentors and other millionaires was that you should buy or create companies that complement your actual goal. Buy or create companies that complement what you're actually trying to do. You don't have to outsource. You can make it in house. You can have multiple companies all working towards the same goal, and that is the mission. That is I wish I had a large vocabulary for words that talk about mission, but it's like that is the scope of and the reason why there are two forces of power coming together for the same goal. And tonight I have the two founders of the other two founders of Grand Rising Financial, Mr. Brian Davis and Eric Melissa. Pretty sure Brian Davis is going to be giving a overview of Grand Rising Financial, how it can benefit your dreams, goals, and desires, and to light your passions on fire like this. Ooh. So, Brian, without further ado, I'm going to hand the
Grand Rising. Sorry to cut you off early there, Andrew. I didn't mean to, but thank you for handing it over to me. Happy Thursday, February 2nd. Oh my goodness, we're in February already. How many of you guys felt like January flew by? And how many of you guys felt like January was very, very slow? I know which side that most of our colleagues and our members of Mi5 feel like. It's been an eventful month, and as Andrew mentioned, the Mi5 vision and the typical way that we conduct these Thursday calls is to give you guys a peek into an entrepreneur, a businessman or woman, or a brilliant individual, and what element of their mindset, could be exposed for us all to learn from. However, this week, we decided to change things up a little bit to keep things fun. And we're going to give you a deeper peek behind the curtain in how Mi5's mindset and how key component elements of that, such as Grand Rising Financial, as Andrew just shared with us, play into the big picture. Now, listen, guys, we understand that when we say Grand Rising Financial, when we say business lines of credit, and when we say funding brokerage, that these are terms that, unless you have familiarity with business, or unless you maybe have stumbled into this world of being an entrepreneur before or had a business of your own before, may sound like interesting, not so interesting terms that do not interest you. But here's the deal, guys. We live in a country called America, and America is a place where no matter who you are, whether you are a child that's 8 years old that paints rocks and sells them on the corner of the street, or you're a pet masseuse, you can open up a business within the United States of America. And there's a lot of really great benefits that a lot of people don't understand to having a business within the United States of America. Now, here's the deal. A lot of people within our community are worldwide. We have people all over. So don't be mistaken. We are still welcoming members from all over the world for Mi5. Again, it's a free community, free of charge. But right now, we have a tool that we can equip our American citizens with, and soon to be Canadian citizens, super amped about that this year, to help accelerate the process. As Andrew mentioned, the goal and vision of Mi5 is to help an individual create a net worth of $1 million within 5 years. Millionaire in 5 years, Mi5. And if you have a tool that equips you with liquidity, equips you with additional funds, such as the tool that we have with Grand Rising Financial, you accelerate that process not only from 5 years, but down to 2 years. You shave 3 years off the equation if you were to obtain $50,000. Guys, I personally am a victim of being completely destroyed from credit. And I know a lot of people within America are. There's a lot of people that have had credit card debt. There's a lot of people with credit card debt. There's a lot of people that shy away and have never gotten a credit card because they're scared. And there's a lot of people that don't properly understand how to use credit. This was the case for myself. This was the case for Andrew. And this was the case for our other business partner, Eric, and a lot of people within our community. Me personally, just to be transparent, real, and authentic as I always will be with you guys, had a point in my life where I was in $30,000 in credit card debt. $30,000. Now, I was fortunate enough to dig myself out of that hole and pay it down to nothing. But once I did, I promised I would never touch a credit card ever again. And the reason why is because, gosh, do you know how hard it is to dig out of $30,000 in credit card debt with high interest rates? Super, super hard. It's like you're running in a hamster wheel and you're not making any progress forward or back. You're just sitting there spinning. If anything, the hamster wheel fell off the hinge and started wheeling backwards, right? It's just so hard to grasp, why or how credit could be used to your advantage. A lot of people don't understand this. This is the secrets of the rich. This is the secrets of the wealthy. But this isn't a secret if you know how to do it properly. And there's some really prime examples of how people do this already that are very practical and very well known. Right? When you go and you find, or when you go and you apply for a mortgage for a duplex and you live in one half and rent out the other, you're not paying for the duplex outright. You're purchasing that property using a loan from the bank, other people's money, and you're able to live in one half and the other half's able to pay either your entire mortgage or a portion of your mortgage. So therefore, you're using other people's money to create an income stream because you've essentially rented out half of your duplex, or maybe you rented out both and you live in your parents' basement, and you've created an income stream using other people's money. That is a practical sense of the power of credit in everyday life that everybody understands. What people don't understand is the relationships that you can create with banks and the power behind having your own independent business within the United States, and the leverage that you can get can be a superpower. And it can take your progress, and it can take your mission, and it can take your roadmap, and it can take your vision of becoming someone who has a little bit more time freedom from a long-term 10-year plan down to a 1 or 2 year plan. And that's what Mi5 system has brilliantly created. Now, we created Grand Rising Financial, and we started our funding brokerage about, let's see, I want to say we were, correct me if I'm wrong, everybody, but I think it was September of last year, maybe August of last year. So August, September, October, November, December, January, we're about 6 months in. We're about 6 months in. And within that 6 months, we are heading up close to over $2 million in funding. We're very, very close. $2 million in lines of credit that we have obtained for our clients. Now, again, you're probably saying, well, what the heck am I going to do with all this credit? Brian, I don't know what to do with it. And I don't know why you're telling me to have a business. And I don't know why you're telling me to have lines of credit. Listen, you can open up a business. It can be a consulting business. It can be a marketing business. It can be a paper mache donkey business, whatever you want, right? You can be an entrepreneur within this country. And it's not that expensive to have a business. In most states, it only costs somewhere between $200 a year to maybe $500-$600 a year if you live in Massachusetts like myself. And having this business then allows you to have a layer of protection as an individual, especially if it's an LLC. And it allows you to have access to things that individuals don't have access to, because business essentially is a supplement to the economy, which is trash right now. But hey, if you have a business and you start a business, there's certain benefits that you can get. So at Grand Rising Financial, let me tell you what we do. We are a educational, inspirational, motivational, infusing company that teaches you everything that you need to know about building your credit profile, in the optimizing that profile to making it a valuable asset that you can use to obtain lines of credit. On average, we obtain people that come to Grand Rising Financial, on average now, with the right requirements when it comes to credit, $75,000 all the way up to $250,000 business line of credit, 0% interest, may I mind you, no high interest, for 6 to 24 months. And this can happen whether or not you have a business that started today, whether you had a business that started last week, or whether you have a business that's starting tomorrow. We're able to help acquire these funds for the individual. And I'm not just spewing nonsense, because in fact, we're not going to charge you a penny to put you through this process. We're going to get paid once you get paid. That's right. We don't charge anything for our business line of credit services. We get you funded. And at the end, once we've acquired those funds for you, that's when we send our invoice. And for those who are curious, it's 8%. So if we were able to obtain $100,000 in business line of credit for you, your invoice would be for $8,000. Now, here's the thing. You can use those $100,000 in credit lines that you just received to pay the invoice. So you don't even have to pay anything out of your own pocket. And now, again, I know you're probably saying, Brian, what the heck am I going to do with the $100,000 in credit lines? I don't need that much credit. That sounds like a trap. It can be. Yes, it can be. It can be a trap. You can be a business that, maybe you're going to start a little cafe and you can go all out. You could go buy the fancy espresso machine and the leather seats for your dining room and all the supplies, and you could rack up the debt, and you can have a business that you poured $100,000 in debt in, and now you have spending years paying it off running your little cafe. But that's not what we do here at Mi5. Oh, no, 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 no. You know what we do? We get creative, because we live in a creative age. We live in a creative age of internet and technology and resources, and ways to create money and cash flow systems are easier now than they've ever been before. But there's also a lot of garbage out there. Tons and tons of garbage, guys. And I know we've all seen it. I know we've seen people in our Facebook inboxes. I know we've seen the YouTube advertisements claiming to help you make money for a low cost of $10,000. We can start you up today, whatever the case may be. There's a lot of garbage out there. In an age of information overload, we can't decipher what information is garbage versus what information is actually of value. It's very hard without work. And in a very fast-paced, low attention span age of technology, a lot of times people just avoid stuff altogether. I'm not even going to look at that. I see all these advertisements on YouTube for start your own Amazon store today and make tons of money. I'm not even going to look at that. Anytime I see anybody saying something for Amazon, I'll be like, that's nonsense. They're all a bunch of fugazis. And listen, there's a bunch of crap ones out there, but there are also really great reputable places out there that are really well established, that have been around for years, that have a great track record, that have contracts in place to protect you, that can start an Amazon store for you, that can bring you in 5 figures a month in income. They exist, but you're going to pay and you're going to get what you pay for. And anyone out there that's saying, they're going to help you do this for $1,000 or $2,000, or they're going to teach you how to do it in a course. Yes, there is some success in those companies. It's very rare and often not sustained, but it's the bigger, more reputable brands that charge $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 for a store, again, with a history, a track record, and a success record. Not necessarily all of them that charge that price tag, again, because even some of the ones that charge that price tag they don't smell quite right. You got to know which ones to go to. And if you do a Google search right now for an Amazon automation store, I'll promise you get 10,000 results, and you're not going to even know where to start. So therefore, a lot of times people just give up. And because there's so much information, and because there's so much bull crap out there, and because there's so much garbage, they just don't ever think to look into that direction. But we all know how successful Amazon is, right, guys? We all have Amazon Prime. We all utilize the services of Amazon, do we not? We all see the amount of product that's being moved through there, do we not? So there are good Amazon places to go to out there. You just got to know where to look. And there are ways to build Amazon stores that create profits. You just got to know where to look. That's where MI5 comes into the picture. We've done the work for you for the last 6 months. Eric, myself, Andrew, we've spoken to over 250 e-commerce experts. We've spoken to their executives. We've had meetings with their leadership. We've had so many of our, network and our community look into the contracts, look into the terms. This is just one facet of MI5, right? We're not promoting e-commerce here tonight for those that are watching. Like, we got e-commerce, we got litigations, we've got Forex, we've got crypto, we've got, all these different buckets, tractor, trailer, trucking, solar, like we've got these buckets, they're everywhere. We're not promoting anything. And for anyone that looks and sees MI5, there's so many people that hit me up and they're like, yo, where's your pitch deck at? I want to see what it's all about and then make a decision if I can talk about how much of a scam you are. We're not a company that, yet. I mean, maybe one day we'll do, our own e-commerce stores, but we're not a company that has these opportunities or serves one particular company or one particular brand. No, we are a community of people. We are a movement of people that finds the very best information through all of the garbage that's out there and exposes it to our members. And by the way, we don't charge a dime. It's completely free. So my point being, and I know I digressed a little bit, is that when you find these great places to park some capital and you obtain the $50,000, the $100,000 in lines of credit through our funding brokerage, and you put your money to work versus, again, racking up credit card debt, there's good debt and there's bad debt. And if you have the good debt, being a cash flow system, like I said, like an Amazon store that brings in $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month. Now, all of a sudden, instead of racking up $100,000 on those new leather chairs in your cafe and that high fancy espresso machine, you maybe put, let's say, $40,000 into an e-commerce store, and you've created an income stream where after a year, you've paid off the debt because that e-commerce store has generated revenue. And now every single month, your cafe has a $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 budget coming in from your e-commerce store, filling your business from the back end. Or if you don't have a cafe, it doesn't matter. Let's just say you want to be a nutritionist. Let's just say you want to groom pets. Let's just say you want to have your own farm. Let's just say you want to be an independent painter, an independent musician. You have an idea for a nonprofit. You have an idea for anything. Because at MI5, we believe that we have one life here that we are very, very, very blessed and fortunate to have. And a life after, of course, for those that believe in that. But we're not going to get into religion because that's not a good idea. But we have one life where you should live it to the fullest, and you should make sure every single day within your life that you are setting your soul on fire with something that you're passionate about, and that you're going after your passion and you're pursuing your dreams. And if you're doing that, we believe that you're going to be making a positive impact on humanity and a positive impact on the world by doing as such. And we, as the MI5 movement, are going to make a positive impact on the world because we've helped empower people and equip people with the tools that they need to go out and make a positive impact on humanity. Because more people living their passions means a better world for all of us. That's right. That is right. That's what we're all about. So we can do this for United States citizens and soon to be Canadian citizens. Our funding brokerage equips you with the tools that you need to jumpstart your ability to have funds and to use the bank's money to jumpstart this process. If you're not in the United States or Canada, no worries. We got you covered too. Because as Andrew mentioned, we have resources for working remotely from home to create additional income streams part-time. We've got so many different things that you can plug into. And as this year develops and as we launch our app and as we launch our website and as we launch our system more and more, and as we bring it forward facing to you guys all here on social media that are watching, thanks so much for coming by and watching. We are going to be able to develop a massive movement and have massive impact on massive amounts of people. And we're amped. Because 2022, if you were fortunate and blessed enough to be a part of Mi5 in 2022, it means you were invited by a family member or a friend or an associate or somebody that loved you. We were very private. We were very intimate. But 2023, woo-wee, we are taking the whole world by storm, and we are putting ourselves out there, and we're making impacts, and we're having these live streams so that we can have a bigger impact than we had last year. We have a whole year of beta testing under our belts, almost a whole year. Started in April, and we're ready to rock and roll. So how does this all play into mindset? Well, guys, mindset is the biggest and most important element of this whole puzzle, this whole picture, everything Andrew talked about, everything that I'm talking about. Mindset is the core foundation. If you were building a house, the most important part of that house is the foundation, because you can't build anything if you don't have a strong foundation. Think of mindset like that. Mindset is the concrete that you lay down before you build the house. Because if you do not have a properly poured foundation for a house, it's going to crumble. And it's not going to be strong. And it's not going to last. Mindset is the same critical component to your success and to your development. And this is why we spend every single Thursday night talking about mindset ourselves and introducing others that have been very successful at implementing mindset within their journeys. See, mindset is so much more than the word mindset. There are a million different components to mindset, and mindset is something that cannot be stagnant and has to be ever changing and ever evolving and ever nurtured in order to sustain itself. You ever hear people saying, the money went to his head? You ever see a celebrity who had a drug problem? You ever see a lottery individual who lost it all? Mindset was the reason for all of those failures and all of those setbacks. Mindset is important, and it needs to be maintained. If you do not maintain your mindset, if you do not stay on track with your mindset, then you will be unable to create and sustain and live the life that you wish to live as a time freedom individual within this universe. Because the decisions that you will make and the thoughts that you will think will eventually catch up with you, and they will be your detriment. So mindset has to be the number one component. So if you join our community of Mi5, one of the things that we like to do with mindset is we like to spread positivity. We like to destroy limiting beliefs. We like to be demonstrating gratitude, because all of these things, along with many others, are great ways to build your mindset. Now, I know some of these things are common buzzwords that we've heard in recent years, but there's a difference between a buzzword and actual application. See, destroy limiting beliefs. That's a hard thing to actually do. A lot of us have limiting beliefs. Oh, I could never be like that, or I could never do this, or I could never, go there or accomplish this goal. It's a little voice inside your head that says, there's something in the world that's holding me back or setting me away from being able to obtain, achieve, or accomplish said thing. I'm here to say that is completely false. See, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, either way, you're right. Think about that. That's a quote I don't know who it's from. If somebody wants to pop it up in the chat, feel free. But whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, either way, you're right. And that's a key controlling, key component of Henry Ford. Beautiful. Thanks, Andrew. That's a key component of limiting beliefs, right? Because if you think you can't, then you can't. A limit on your belief system. But this is a world, especially with this little guy right here with a smartphone, it's a world where we have an unlimited canvas of possibilities. So one of the first elements of your mindset being eliminated has to be, or not being eliminated, but being reinforced, has to be eliminating limiting beliefs and recognizing that there are powerful things within the words and the thoughts that go through your head on a daily basis. So we could go on and on and on about mindset. I hope you understand how important mindset is. If you don't, it's okay. We're going to be coming out with courses, custom courses for Mi5 this year involving mindset. We're going to have coaches. We're going to have lots of supplemental resources for our members that they're going to be able to access to help reinforce and build their mindset up. We're going to be doing a lot of collaborations. We've got some really great people that help with procrastination, habit formation, activation of higher self, and so many other things that are coming down the pipeline. I'm super stoked. Everybody, if you haven't joined the Mi5 community, it's free. What are you waiting for? But hold up. We don't want you in our community if you don't want the best life for yourself. That's right. We don't want numbers. We don't want quantity. We want quality. So if you are an individual that seeks to be the best version of yourself, if you are an individual that has dreams, if you are an individual that is stuck in a job that you do not like, if you are an individual that hopes to do something one day or had a passion at one point and would like to reignite that passion, and you want to be around other individuals that feel and think the same way, that understand that if they had the financial and time freedom that they desired, that they could accomplish more within their lives, then we want you. But if you don't want that, by all means, we ain't forcing anybody to join our community, and we could care. We care about you, but we just don't really want you muddling the waters over here. We want to keep things authentic. We want to keep things positive. We want to keep things real. So by all means, please don't waste our time, and we won't waste yours. I say that with love. I believe everyone should be living a life they're passionate about, but we need to protect the integrity of our community. And the integrity of our community is the want and need and desire for growth, and the want and need and desire to be the best version of you every single day, and to lay down the mindset foundation that you need for success, and to put in the work in order to obtain and achieve and accomplish and maintain your success. So, just to recap, I know we've shared a ton of information with you guys tonight. Follow us on all platforms at the Mi5 Movement. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on TikTok. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, everywhere you can search, LinkedIn. If you're interested in equipping yourself with liquidity and capital, you can do so by visiting Grand Rising Financial. It's our funding brokerage. We help secure 0% interest lines of credit for new or existing businesses from $50,000 all the way to $250,000. We don't charge anything for this up front. We pay or charge on the back end. And if you're interested in being part of our lovely group chat and chatting with a bunch of amazing individuals who have positive ways of thinking and spreading positivity, love, joy, and compassion, you can join us in our free Telegram channel at the Mi5 Movement. The link's right down below. We're about to move on over there right now, actually. I'm going to have our partner and our director of research and development for Mi5, Mr. Eric Melissa, talk to you a little bit more about where we're transitioning now. And it's been a pleasure to talk a little bit more in depth, guys, behind the curtain views here this evening with you about Mi5 and about Grand Rising Financial and about why we do these mindset calls on a weekly basis. Thank you so much for your time, guys. I'll see you at the after party if you're going to join us. Eric, take it away, man.
All right, that was awesome. I really wanted to quickly say, I mean, just the lives that we are changing, and just recently we had an 80-year-old couple that have entered into the becoming entrepreneurs because they needed extra money, and right now they're over $97,000 that they have, that they're going to be able to use, and it's just amazing. And there's more and more coming in. So here's the thing: we're gonna have an after hours party where you can kind of meet us and hear more about what we got going on. If you have, this is for the members that have our link, and if you don't have our link to get into our Zoom, our Zoom channel, right there. Thank you. You can join our Telegram group, and if you join our Telegram group, then you can get the Zoom link to be in our after hours party. So amazing knowledge here. And I don't know how many, 600 calls that we've been on in the past year with amazing individuals, top entrepreneurs. And when they hear what we have and what we've put together, they are absolutely blown away by it. And we did this from our house, from remotely. We didn't really have to go anywhere to do this. And I think that's part of one of the amazing things. And now that we're going to be traveling more, and you can see I need to shave. But yeah, there's some awesome knowledge that is in Mi5, and it's all free. And if you're not taking advantage of it, then that's something you need to ask yourself, why not? So really looking forward to seeing you guys on our after parties. And again, if you're new, join our Telegram group, and we look forward to seeing you. Thank you.